Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Before we get today's video started, I would like to take a moment to thank all of you guys for helping me reach over 100 subscribers. This truly means a lot. Anyways, in this video, I'll be flying with what is considered to be the world's best business class with Qatar Airways in the Qsuite. This will be my first time in the Qsuite, and more importantly, my first flight with Qatar Airways. Let's head to the airport and get checked in. The check-in area for Qatar Airways at JFK is nothing special, and this is the business class check-in area. Down there is the check-in area for economy class, and the staff are kind and courteous. The check-in experience was quite fast and also very pleasant. Unfortunately, I'm in a bit of a rush to take this flight, so we're probably not going to have much time in the lounge, if at all, so I guess I'll see you guys after security. After security, you'll find yourself at this part of the terminal, right by the Bobby Van Steakhouse, as you can see. There's a lot of American Airlines related stuff going on around here, such as this wall showing some American Airlines logos. My personal favorite has to be their current 2013 logo. Down there is the British Airways and American Airlines Greenwich Business Class Lounge, which we have access to as a business class passenger on a One World airline. I will be sure to film that in a separate video, and from there I rushed to gate 47, where my A350-1000 awaits. As I walked down the jet bridge, I could not help but think how exciting this flight would be. It would be my first flight on an A350, which is super exciting, because it's always cool to try out new aircraft. We are currently boarding a flight on the world's best airline, in the world's best business class. Just look at that beautiful galley with that purple burgundy look. The flight attendants are very kind and courteous and point you to your seat. For today's flight, as you can see, I have a rear-facing seat in the business class cabin in the world's best business class aboard Qsuite. I will show you guys the amenities, as well as the IFE system, as well as a detailed seat tour once we're airborne. But for now, I'm just going to try to recover from the hassle and bustle of JFK Terminal 8. Waiting for me at the seat was a plush pillow, as well as a blanket, another nice-looking pillow, and an amenity kit. I believe that this is the amenity kit provided for today's flight. Before departure, a flight attendant came around and asked me what I'd like to drink, for which I opted for a lemon mint, which is Qatar's signature beverage. He also provided a Peak refreshing towel, and I personally love the way that the service feels personalized on Qatar Airways. Rather than serving the beverage off a tray, a flight attendant comes and serves it to you by itself. And they don't serve multiple drinks together at the same time, which I kind of like, unlike many other airlines in business class, so the service is just great. Before departure, the flight attendants came around with the menus. I love the fact that QR has dine on demand in business class, which makes it possible to eat whatever, whenever. So far, I am personally a huge fan of the Qatar Airways boarding music, and I'm definitely going to admit that it is much better than the boarding music on Emirates. It's just much more relaxing and meditative, and it's just a really nice vibe that's relaxing. It's very soothing. I love the fact that the windows on the A350 are very large, and it's always a real treat to have more than one window to yourself in an airplane seat, which just really makes it nice to enjoy the view, especially when you have a seat that offers a view of the wing. Before the safety video played, in the Qsuite, there was a video that played showing the seat tour, and here is a small section of it, as you can see, so enjoy. It's nice to see what different airlines do with their safety videos, and Qatar Airways has a great one, taking place at multiple destinations across the world.
For safety reasons, with the exception of handheld personal electronic devices in flight mode.
Not sure if you guys could see well, but when pushing back from the gate, I was able to get a decent view of a British Airways 777, two of them actually, and I don't know where the other one's headed, but one of which is certainly headed out to London Heathrow. So it turns out that during taxi takeoff and landing, the flight attendants, they actually put the Qsuite door in the lock position, and the flight attendants, they just came around with these like pins, which they used to like unlock the Qsuite door, and they put it in like the sliding position where it's able to like be closed and opened as well, because during taxi takeoff and landing, when it's in the lock position, you actually can't use the Qsuite door. I am currently here in the Qatar Airways business class lavatory on the Airbus A350-1000. I thought I might show you guys around. So starting off, we have a mirror, which is great size, as you can see, pretty large. We also have this thing you can use to like change baby's diaper. It's honestly much bigger than many of the other ones I've seen on other airlines and in other lavatories before, so it's pretty large. You'll also find a coat hook. You'll also find the toilet sink, as well as some soap. And in these drawers, I believe, there are some razors, I believe, some shaving kits. Let's see what else they have. Napkins, as you can see. Toilet paper. You also got some like hand cream and perfume, I believe. And the best thing about this lavatory is the fact that there's a window. This is, of course, the best thing, though. It definitely does not offer a great view like the one on the Emirates A380. However, maybe I'll just try coming back here later on in the flight and see if the views change. Here's the economy class cabin on the A350. After filming the bathroom in the economy class cabin the best ways possible without trying to get others in the video, I quickly returned to my seat knowing that the FA wasn't really that happy with my camera. So, anyways, that's not the whole point of this. When I got back to my seat, I realized that the flight attendant had served a pineapple margarita mocktail as well as some nuts. So, cheers, guys. Let's enjoy the starter to a wonderful meal service with Qatar Airways. So, yeah. Obviously, I'm not allowed to drink, but let's have a look at the wine list on Qatar Airways and see its selections. So it comes in this really nice red menu, as you can see, and it's kind of like the menu card, except it's red. And here is the champagne selection. We have some more wine. As you can see now, I obviously don't know how to pronounce this stuff because I'm not really interested in wine, nor do I know much about it. So I'm just showing you guys for the adult travelers. Here's the dessert selection, and then there's also a selection of port wine available, and the cocktails, cognac, and liquors are also available. They even have a selection of beers and spirits, and the alcoholic selection on Qatar Airways is kind of extensive. All food on Qatar Airways is halal, except for the alcohol, as you can see. Cheers, guys, to a pineapple margarita mocktail. That is very refreshing. It tastes kind of like a salty juice soda. Before enjoying my Arabic mezza appetizer, I went with some artisan bread, which is served for both lunch and dinner. In this case, dinner, and the artisan bread was delicious, served in this nice bread basket with some butter, as well as some oil and like balsamic vinaigrette and some salt and pepper. I love the fact that QR manages to present the meal restaurant quality, as you can see. Here's that beautiful classic Arabic mezza, which is Qatar's signature appetizer, served with some tabbouleh salad, some hummus, as well as some mutabel dip. I personally love mutabel and hummus. The tabbouleh salad was kind of herby, but still alright. Served with some fresh pita bread, this Arabic mezza is very delicious. Definitely better than the one I had on Emirates, and I would definitely recommend this appetizer on Qatar Airways business class. I love the fact that the meal is served with a fake candle, as you can see, which is a really nice touch and makes the experience feel much more like a fine dining restaurant experience in the air rather than having just the meal presented on a tray. And the meal is great enough as it is, but the fact that they managed to add this small touch makes a big difference. For my entree, I had the roasted sweet potato with bean stuffing, and there were lots of flavors in this. It was kind of hard to enjoy the flavor, so it was not great, but also not bad. In between my entree and dessert, I opted for the cheese plate, which is served with cheddar, brie, and blue cheese, as well as some fig jam, I believe. It's even served with some crackers, as well as some cashews, grapes, and dates. It was all good except for the dates because they were kind of dry, but I recommend getting the cheese plate, and it was very delicious. To wrap up the meal for dessert, I opted for the mixed berry and lemon cheesecake, which looks so gorgeous, you guys. Very Michelin star restaurant appropriate. Looks like a dessert you'll truly enjoy, and believe me, it's very sweet and delicious. It's definitely a very delicious cheesecake, and for someone like myself who's a cheesecake lover, I'm sure you'll love it. The in-flight entertainment system on Qatar Airways is touchscreen, or you can use the iFear remote, and it's called Oryx One. I personally love this iFear remote, and it feels very modern. Oryx One is very responsive, and there's a good selection of movies and TV shows to choose from. I like to use the in-flight map, which you can navigate by using the remote or the touchscreen, and this is a much closer look of what the remote looks like, as you can see, and you can easily put it back into its place. Though the remote does have a wire to it that might not be the most premium touch, but it is what it is. And here is what the in-flight map looks like. It might be a little bit hard to navigate at first, but once you figure it out, it's easy to zoom in, and I personally love Oryx One. Definitely not as good and as responsive as Emirates Ice, but let's have a look at the movie selection, because it's important to have good entertainment on a long-haul flight. Here's the entertainment selection. There's a good range of Hollywood, Bollywood, Arabic, African, lots of different genres in terms of movies to choose from. And here's the movie selection, as you can see. Pretty good selection for Qatar Airways business class. Lots of options to choose from. I personally love the in-flight menu on Qatar Airways or Emirates. In my opinion, those two airlines have the best IFE systems out there, and I love Oryx One, and I hope you guys are able to enjoy this IFE system as well. There's a good TV selection, lots of genres. There's even a FIFA selection, so for those of you who are interested in soccer, it's good. Now, there's also a kids selection. Now, I'm not interested in this kind of stuff, but for those of you who are kids watching this video, here's what the kids selection looks like. And all the stuff is kid-friendly and kid-appropriate and all that. There's a good selection of cartoon movies and TV shows to choose from for younger children. And here's we're back at the IFE system language. Here's what the languages to choose from look like. Lots of languages, pretty responsive again. And yeah, so that's the IFE system. In business class, you're provided with noise-canceling Oryx One headphones, which come packaged, and here's what they look like. Qatar provides an amenity kit from Diptyque, which contains amenities like an eye mask and socks, but those are not in the amenity kit because I'm currently using those items because I'm going to go to sleep soon. It contains earplugs, like a bottle of cologne. There's this like QR code kind of a thing that has some information. You'll find some face cream, lip balm. You'll find some body lotion, I believe. And these are all really good skincare items. No toothbrush, toothpaste, or shaving kits in the amenity kit, but that doesn't matter because you can find them in the lavatory. And I wish that the amenity kit was in a pouch and not like a cardboard box kind of thing, but the cardboard box does look kind of cool. And yeah. I have just changed into my pajamas, and first thoughts, well, they're actually kind of comfortable. So the pants, as well as the shirt, they're pretty basic colors, as you can see, but the most important thing at the end of the day is the fact that your clothes is comfortable, right? And the pajamas are pretty comfortable, actually. I haven't even tried on the slippers yet, and those are really comfortable and really soft. And the amenity kit that they provided with all of like hand creams and lotions and lip balms and all that, they also provided some socks and earplugs. After changing into my pajamas from the white company based in London, I ordered an iced chai tea latte, which is very delicious, and Qatar Airways always does this drink very well. Here is what the bed looks like in its fully lie-flat position. Very thick, comfortable blanket, and at this very spot, it feels like you have your own private cocoon, and I just love it. Considering that I just woke up, let's go for a seat tour, starting off with the IFE, which is Oryx One. It works by using the touchscreen, or you can use the IFE remote at your right side, and it easily pops out with one push of a button, and you can slide it out to extend it towards you. As you can see, you can pop it back into its place. There are no buttons on the remote. Instead, it's kind of like an Android phone. Beneath the IFE screen, which is kind of large, you have a couple of buttons, as well as two USB ports. and beneath that is the tray table, which is really large for business class, bigger than many tray tables in first class, which might be surprising, but it's actually the truth. Good for eating, working, or any activity of some sort, and you can easily push the tray table back into its spot. Now we're going to move on to the console located at the right hand side. Over here we have like a mini cubby area, which is good for storing things, as well as the seat controls and a do not disturb button. Over here we have like a drinks table, which is good for keeping items. It's kind of like a flat surface. Literature pocket, which is small, just 2 safety cards, one of which is about the Qsuite door. We have like a charging port with USB, as well as a conveniently placed headphone jack for the IFE system, NFC reader, as you can see. And one of the best parts about the Qatar Airways Qsuite is the Qsuite door. But before we move on to that, this is what was provided on this flat surface. Now the Qsuite door is placed in the lock position for taxi, takeoff, and landing, and shortly after takeoff, the flight attendant would come around to unlock the Qsuite door, which means you can easily slide it into its position. Just look at that detail on the Qsuite door and how beautiful it looks with that nice purple color. And unfortunately does not extend from floor to ceiling, which is fine considering that it's business class, and I'm not gonna complain about it too much because it's not first class. Over here we have a coat hook and a conveniently placed reading light, as you can see, which is really nice. The reading light would get brighter if you push it a couple times. Really nice seat stitching and details. I just love the fact how Qatar Airways managed to add a bunch of detail into the Qsuite, and you can notice lots of those patterns throughout the seat. Something that I like about the A350 is that the cabin feels open with no center overhead bins. However, there are center overhead bins in economy class, and it's just in business class where there are no center overhead bins, which makes the cabin feel much larger, and I just love the mood lighting. Over here we have a storage area which doubles as an armrest because it can be extended upward, which I will show in just a bit. It contains water bottle, air sickness bag, as well as the Oryx One headphones. I'm currently keeping my white company pajamas there, as well as the menus, and if you guys are wondering why everything is so clean and organized, that's because this is a separate sea tour from another flight I took when I flew back from Doha to New York JFK with Qatar Airways, considering that it was night and it was kind of dark with poor footage quality when I made the sea tour video from JFK to Doha, so that's not in this video for those of you who are wondering why. And you're not allowed to sit on this storage area, but if you want to for a temporary amount of time, it's actually kind of soft, and I believe that this is the best designed business class seat. And just look at that really soft seat. The headrest is also kind of plush. It's only adjusted up and down, but still it's really comfortable, and I just love the seat. I'm back here in the business class lavatory on the Qatar Airways A350-1000. At least the view's improved through the window. Unfortunately, no view of the wing like the Emirates A380, but it is what it is. Still a real treat to have a window in a lavatory. After taking a stretch and going to the lavatory, I decided to order some fresh berries with syrup, as well as a pineapple punch mocktail. Cheers to a pineapple punch mocktail, which is very delicious and refreshing. When I got back to my seat, I realized the flight attendant had brought me a plate of snacks, and soon he'll be getting me a cup of warm Karak chai. I tried the iced chai tea latte, but not yet the warm chai, and let's see how it goes. And I love these snacks. Cheers to a cup of chai, which is probably cold by now, but still, let's see how it is. It's still kind of warm. Definitely has a really nice flavor to it. Don't worry, guys, the mocktails continued. After trying the pineapple margarita and pineapple punch, I opted for something slightly sweeter, which is the apple cooler, and this was very refreshing. For the breakfast, I went with the truffle and parmesan omelet, which is currently not yet served, but so far I have this Greek yogurt with granola, as well as pastry / bread basket. I also have an orange name mocktail, so cheers to that. I can't wait to try it out. So far, the pineapple margarita is my favorite mocktail on Qatar Airways, but if that changes, I'll let you guys know, and I can't wait to tell you guys my thoughts on the breakfast. Cheers. It's actually very refreshing. You'll notice a lot of orange and a very citrusy flavor in that drink, but I think the pineapple margarita is probably the best mocktail I've so far had on Qatar Airways. Here's that beautiful truffle parmesan omelet served with mushrooms, tomatoes, and spinach. It was also served with chicken sausage, but I didn't have that because I'm a vegetarian, and the flight attendant was offering condiments to go with it. I went with a Tabasco, which I honestly regret choosing because, let's just say it wasn't great. It wasn't spicy or anything, just not very flavorful. Considering that I just had a bunch of breads, pastries, and yogurts, I opted for something lighter and healthier, such as this gorgeous plate of fruit. After a nice breakfast, I enjoyed a glass of Sojeni, which is this amazing non-alcoholic rosé drink found on Qatar Airways. It's like a luxury non-alcoholic bubbly, and I highly recommend trying Sojeni out. After finishing breakfast, I decided to walk around the cabin for a bit and take some pictures. Here is what the view looked like from another suite. Considering that we do not have a full flight today in business class, I thought I might show you guys the middle seats, which look like this. Backwards facing middle seats can convert into a double bed, and flight attendants would put like a bed filler in between just to make it feel a bit more like a double bed. You can easily slide across the dividers to socialize with others across from you in your party, which makes Qsuite a great business class for families, because normally in business class there's lots of privacy, so if you're conducting business or traveling as a couple or traveling as a family of four, this makes Qsuites great, and it's just very private once the doors are fully closed, and it feels like you have your own double bed or home in the sky. Here's the in-flight literature provided for today's flight. It's just the safety cards as well as some instructions on how to operate the Qsuite door, so pretty boring in my opinion, mainly just safety instructions. And the seat pocket is very small, as you can see, very limited space, like room for 1 or 2 safety cards, no in-flight magazine space available there. I don't even think you could fit the menus there, and those menus are kind of small, to be honest. When I got back to my seat after exploring the business class cabin for a bit, it was soon time for landing, and just look at this tail camera feature on the Airbus A350, and the one other aircraft that has it is the Emirates A380, but Qatar on the A350. It's pretty cool because many other airlines also have this tail camera feature on their A350s, and I just love it. And here's what it looks like. Even though I already showed the descent, here's a much better view of it taking place above water, and it's always nice to have that view of the wing and engine on the A350. Before arrival in Doha, a flight attendant brought around Lavatory Swiss chocolates to every business class passenger, which I personally love, and it's these small touches in business class that make a great experience. Inside the chocolate box were 2 chocolates. One was a coffee milk chocolate, which was very delicious, and the other was a pretty good white chocolate ball. In addition to those Swiss chocolates, we were provided with S-mints, which are very refreshing and make your breath smell nice. Before arrival, the flight attendant came around providing us business class passengers with rose-scented hot towels, and he came around thanking us for flying with Qatar Airways. Before we arrive in Doha's Hamad Airport, I thought I might share my concluding thoughts of this flight with you guys. So starting off, we have the check-in experience and lounge at JFK. The lounge at JFK was great. It was the British Airways and American Airlines Greenwich lounge. The staff for check-in were really kind and helpful. We were able to get through easily. But about the Greenwich lounge at JFK, now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was in a rush to take this flight, so I only had 5 to 10 minutes there, and I spent pretty much all of that time making a separate video about the lounge, which I will be sure to link in the description below, and I will be posting that video before this one. So, about the Greenwich Lounge, there are plenty of food and drink options. There's a self-serve wine champagne bar, self-serve coffee and tea station, many food and drink options to choose from. There is also a really nice bathroom. It offers great views of the tarmac and of the aprons, of course. So, besides the ground experience, the aircraft was probably the highlight of this Qatar Airways Qsuite experience, because the seat truly earns 5 stars. It features a privacy door, which unfortunately does not extend from floor to ceiling, which is alright, because it's still really private. The seat offers a decent amount of storage. Definitely not the best seat in terms of storage, but still it'll certainly do. The in-flight entertainment system is Oryx 1. It's really big. as well as the tray table. The tray table is kind of easy to access, and it's just that everything is very conveniently placed. The seat is all very comfortable. It's not really firm, and when in the lie flat mode, it just really feels like your head is tucked away in its own little space, which I personally think is incredibly nice, and it just makes this experience feel really private. If you'd like to have a more of a private experience with Qatar Airways Qsuites on the A350-1000, I'd recommend booking a seat in the mini cabin, which only features 8 seats, rather than the larger cabin, which is located up at the front of the aircraft, which is also where I am for today's flight. Now, the aircraft is an Airbus A350-1000, which I mentioned probably many times now. It's a very fuel-efficient airplane. Something that I like about fuel-efficient aircraft that are twin jet like the Airbus A350 is the fact that they help reduce jet lag. Like, it's really easy to fall asleep on this aircraft. It's just a very quiet airplane. I just love the way it is. Especially the fact that it's twin jet and fuel efficient. Many airlines are retiring their A380s and using A350s as the replacement. Anyways, besides the seat, the food and the service were another highlight of this experience. Qatar Airways service, unlike many other airlines I've flown in business class, is the fact that with Qsuites, there's dine on demand, meaning you could order whatever, whenever, from any section of the menu at any time during the flight between takeoff and landing. I personally love that aspect, and it just makes the experience feel very personalized, because they're always, like, there for you. Like, if you're in the flight attendant call button, it's not really going to, like, take a while for them to respond. Like, with Dine On Demand, it's, like, it just feels very personalized. Besides that, like, they're just really nice. So the service earned 5 stars. Now, the food was great. So, with the Arabic mezza yesterday, which I had for dinner, it was really delicious. The tabbouleh salad and the Arabic mezza was not great, but still, it was alright. I mean, it was edible, of course. But the main highlight in terms of the food for dinner was probably the Arabic mezza, besides the tabbouleh salad with it. And for breakfast, I had the truffle parmesan omelet. Tasted like it was fresh out of the kitchen. Probably the best omelet, or the best egg dish for that matter, I've ever had on a flight. So, in terms of the food and service, Qatar Airways earned 5 stars here. Now, I haven't checked out the Qatar Airways lounge in Doha, but after judging it through other trip reports I've seen, it seems like it's a really good business class lounge, and I can't wait to make a video about it for you guys and share it. So, anyways, that's all I have to say here about the concluding thoughts with Qatar Airways and the Qsuite. Oh, and one more thing, Qsuite is a great business class, especially if you're a family traveling with little children, if you're traveling for business, because you can sit in the middle seat and then lower the divider, so you have easy access to socialize and talk with each other. The forward-facing middle seats are away from each other because they have the consoles in between them, whilst the backwards-facing middle seats are, like, literally right next to each other. You just lower the divider, and then you turn your seats into the lie-flat bed, and then you basically have a double bed with Qatar Airways and the Qsuite. On arrival into Doha, we got some really nice views of the city, as you can see. I hope you guys enjoy these views, as well as the following landing footage, which I will show in just a bit. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember to subscribe, even though we already reached our yearly goal of 100. Also, please be sure to like the video and leave a comment if you feel like it. Anyways, bye, and peace out, guys.